Welcome to the second episode of My Life with Gora, written by Srimati Saraswati Gora, an atheist and co-founder of Atheist Center. Today I am going to continue from where I have left in the first episode, and these I am going to continue in her words only. When I reflect on my life, I have the satisfaction that I have been able to learn many things and achieve some. I think living in the 20th century gives us a special opportunity. We have seen slavery, we have seen freedom struggles, we have seen wars, and we have seen peace efforts. We have been plunder as well as the struggle to put an end to it. We have seen religious and caste prejudice, and we have seen the nationalist feeling that transcends caste and religion and its importance. When we realize that even the nationalist ideology is also narrow-minded, we have understood the aim of human society and internationalism. We have seen ignorance and the evil social practices based on ignorance. We have also seen the scientific outlook that has dispelled ignorance and imparted knowledge and enlightenment. We have seen social reform movements that have incessantly battled evil social practices that have made human life unbearable. We have also seen the man who has been defeated in this struggle as also the man who has succeeded. That is why this age is an age which has achieved progress amid mutually conflicting opposites. This is the age that has given prominence to progress amidst mutual differences. That may be why, for everyone who has lived in this age, there is something to be proud of. When we reflect on and review what we have achieved, we feel satisfied. We will only be dissatisfied if we stack up our failures. Neither success nor failure is completely true, nor is it completely false. There is no such thing as completeness. If we achieve total completeness, then nothing will remain to be done. That is why theists name as their aim of life that state in which there is no scope for them to do anything, because that is a situation that occurs after death. However, every individual who wanted to improve life here rejected that argument to that extent. Setting aside the question of what will happen after death, they ask the question of what is life until death. Convincing themselves that there is a life before this life and that there is another after this life that we know, thus making this life a stopping place between a previous life and a life in which we are to be born again. Every one of those who ask such questions, such as what is the significance of this life, what is the meaning of the aim of this life, have become revolutionaries in their respective fields. They have rebelled against contemporary society. If we look at it from this point of view, the things that attract in anyone's biography are the parts that rebelled against the contemporary society. May it be in the political arena, in the social arena, in the economic arena, in the cultural realm, or in the philosophical realm. My mother used to say that all my life, ever since I was a child, I had the mentality of a rebel. By the time I came to live with him, Gora had already progressed in his rebellion against contemporary social conditions, especially in the educational field. It led him to rebel against religious beliefs. Thereafter, the rebellion was reflected in every aspect of his day-to-day life. I don't know too much about the education field, even less religious matters, but Gora taught me that I should look at all the things I do in everyday life from a rebel's point of view. I imbibed that spirit. I followed the path all through my life. That's why when I observe those who worry in the name of tradition, worry about what the society around them would say, and those who fear that if the status quo is disturbed, they would lose the security in their lives, it appears to me that they all have made fear as the principal theme of their lives. Anything can frighten those who are easily afraid. Those who are afraid live for other people. That's why they are not satisfied with their lives. There is no fear if one lives for what one likes or what one believes in. There would be no doubt in their minds. They won't want security. They look for cooperation. That's why, while slavery peeps through fear, freedom opts for cooperation. Since change is tied up with freedom, since freedom wishes for cooperation, since cooperation is only possible among equals, regarding fellow human beings as one's own equals, considering oneself is equal to one's fellow men, constitute a rebellion against feelings of inequality in contemporary society. Thus, I understood that freedom, cooperation, and equality are characteristics of the spirit of rebellion. We raised our children in this fashion. Like us, they too are influenced by that spirit. Similarly, many workers have been influenced. Our lives have been augmented by the cooperation that developed among all of us. That's the reason why to reflect on my life means to refresh my memory about those situations, influences, and individuals once more. When I go back in my memory lane, I am looking at those items in the present light from my current experience and understanding. Thus, I am also learning while I am telling my life story. We learn from our own lives just as we learn from others' lives. Age or qualification has no bearing on such learning. I don't think that there is something that I have achieved as a single person. Whatever I did it with Gora. Whatever I have achieved is something we both have achieved. However, I will try here to clearly express how I felt about those events when I looked at them as a woman. Even when I look at life from the atheistic outlook, when every institution in the current society treats the woman as inferior and suppressor, I empathize as a woman. As I have experienced such empathy, I am gratified when this narrative helps others to whatever extent it does. From my childhood to the present day, there has been such change in the social conditions. However, many do not yet recognize such change as change in the establishment. Because of this, a person appears more optimistic than he was in my childhood. That's the reason why I feel that there is an increased need now than in my childhood for progressive action. So far, I have been bound by my ideas in my sphere of action. I hope I shall continue to do so in future. There are people who adhere to ideals like me. However, unlike many others, I have adhered to the atheistic outlook. In the atheist point of view, men and women are both equal. The differences in their anatomy need not exist in the value we give to them. Still, religion, society, tradition, and to some degree the state have been nurturing inequality by giving one value to man and another to woman. Politically and economically, the belief that higher castes have one value and lower castes have another is pretty much gone. But it still exists to some extent in the social area. It appears that it too will go away soon. But the idea that man has one value and woman has another exists in every field. I am looking forward to the day when men and women can share equally in every activity. I am also looking forward to the day when every woman can make the person she likes as a life partner. Similarly, I am looking forward to the day when we can express self-confidence and faith instead of helplessness when we undertake to change institutions. I am looking forward to see how soon the conditions for building a universal human society transcending caste, religion, political party, or country will arrive. Every atrocity carried on against Dalits is a blemish on the humanity of the higher castes. Similarly, every act of violence carried on against women is a blemish on the humanity of men. Dalits and women must come out of the feeling of inferiority and build self-confidence in them. In the same fashion, I am looking forward to the day when those of higher castes and men quit their feeling of superiority and feel wholeheartedly that they are equal to others and others are equal to them. Since ignorance and servility are obstacles, everyone must rebel against them. In my own sphere, with the help I had gotten, I have rebelled against them to some extent. It's that rebellion of mine that enables me to stand like this today. My rebellious ideas, the circumstances that helped me put them into practice, and the persons who have helped me in the endeavor, especially Gora, it's their collective effort that is the subject of my life story. It is that story that I am trying to put out here. I came from an orthodox traditional family in a Zamindari town. I have been limited by a very elementary education. If I was able to achieve this much with the strength of my ideology, help from my husband, cooperation from my children, and the support of my family members and friends, contemporary women who are better educated than me, who have better opportunities than me, can achieve much more than I have. While I am telling my story, I am looking forward to the day when I can hear the stories of their achievements, when I can experience the satisfaction from hearing them. Now, please read my story, she says, and I will continue the second chapter in the next episode again. Thank you.
For more videos, please subscribe to our Positive Atheism English Channel presented by Samaram channels, which has crossed more than 20 crore views. Please like, subscribe and share our videos, and for notification of our new videos, please click the bell icon.